At the meeting on Monday, we talked about our why. Sometimes you get started to make some extra cash, and sometimes people just want to get started to get 50% of their products, and then they do a party and they're like, holy cow, you just made $500. Now I'm ready to do some more. The main thing is Mary Kay is not magical. It's not just, oh, I got started Mary Kay and I just told two people that I joined Mary Kay and then I sold $1 million and now I'm rich and I can quit my job. It is not magical, it's mathematical. I want you to think about what is it that you want to make with your Mary Kay money? What is going to drive you to book the parties? Really, if your why is not big enough, but it doesn't make you cry, doesn't give you chills, then what's going to help you move the needle when you're excited, when you're not excited, when you're motivated, when you're not motivated, right? Today I was not motivated, but I decided, all right, I'm going to have pajamas on the bottom and dressed up on the top, and I'm going to sit down on my computer and I'm going to do some work for about an hour. And that's really all I had the capacity for today. Put a little eyeshadow on and called it good, right? But I wasn't motivated, but I still did what I needed to do because my why is powerful. When I first started Mary Kay, I wanted to go to concerts. And so I realized when I sat down and I called that, oh my gosh, I would get a booking. I would do a party with that person, maybe 2 parties that week, and I would have extra cash. I found out that my average ended up being $100 a face. I was like, if I want to go to a concert, but $100 a face, that means I needed to book 2 people to be in front of one, right? And then I started learning my numbers. I'm like, if I sat down for an hour and texted people and called people, I could book some parties, I would hold some sessions, I'd make some money, and I'd go to concerts. Like, woo, this is fun. Then I started to say, what if I could pay for my wedding in full? And then I was like, now I just needed to increase my reach outs, to increase my bookings, to increase my hold rate. And then that would help pay for my wedding. So on a Monday afternoon after work, do I want to sit down and make calls after I just worked an 8 to 12 hour day? No. But did I want to pay for my wedding in full with my Mary Kay money? Yes. And so could I just do maybe 10 text messages or 10 calls that day and really push towards my why? Then I decided, oh my gosh, what if we could put down money for our dream home just for my Mary Kay money? Then it started being like, how many reach outs would I need to do per week then? And what would it look like? All those things I have done. And all of those things you can do. What if I could earn a car, Mary Kay, by sitting down, doing, bookings, faces, sharing, selling, and it could actually turn out to be something. Mary Kay's, like we said, mathematical, but it's really connected to your deep why. I can't sit next to you every single day and say, hey, it's time to do some calls. Why are you doing calls? Because you want to pay for your wedding. Or, hey, just a reminder, you said that you wanted to quit your job and do Mary Kay full time. What does it look like? Because I'm not your boss. I am your mentor. I'm here to help you strategize and figure out how Mary Kay could work for you. But in reality, you are your own boss. So you have to figure out what is going to motivate you and what is going to move the needle. So let's talk about that. You want your why to be something that like makes you cry. It pulls on your heartstrings. It's, oh my gosh, something that plugs into your heart. Yes, you could pay for a bill with Mary Kay, but also have something fun. Because if you're like, I really want to pay for my Excel bill, when you get seated at your computer, you might be like, gosh, I don't want to do this right now. I'll just pay for my Excel bill out of my money that I was using before. But when your why is powerful, I really want to travel. I really want to take my family on a Disney cruise. I really want to pay for my wedding. I really want to pay for a down payment on my house. I want to move out of this house. I want to quit my job. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't want to work my corporate job. There's so many things. I actually heard a training before about the legacy leaders, and one of the ladies said, why did you do what you're going to do? And she said, I needed to make $800 a month or else they're going to take away my house. And that's why I did it. I sat down and made calls. Did I want to call these people? No. Did I want to sit down and text? No. Did I want to go out and meet people? Not exactly. But I figured out that by doing those things will help move the needle. What is your why? What is your big why? Then we're going to talk about numbers. In Mary Kay, we make 50% profit on everything we sell in Mary Kay, right? You make 50%, you buy the products from Mary Kay for 50%, you pocket 50%. Now, even better than 50% would be a 60-40 split. So if you took 50% and you restocked your shelves. Let's say you had a $100 facial with one person. You're going to take $50 and you're going to restock your products. Let's say she got maybe a charcoal mask and cleanser moisturizer. You're like, now I need to get some more of those things to have on hand because we're not just selling everything from our shelf. We're selling and we're restocking just like that we would in Target or Walmart or whatever. So 50% is going to restock your shelf. 40% is going to be what you pocket because you need to make money. Then you're going to take that 10%, and that is what you're going to use to pay for events that are coming up. You're going to use that to pay for preferred customer program. You're going to use that to pay for anything that you would have to pay out of pocket samples, 50% to restock your shelf, 10% to pay for events, and 40% profit. Let's think about this goal. Let's say I'm actually going to use, I won't give names, but I'm going to use a team member on our team to go through her numbers. She wants to make $4,000 by March, which is totally doable. You can actually make $4,000 in December. But anyways, let's just do that math. If she wants to make $4,000 profit in her pocket, we're going to take $4,000 and we're going to multiply it by 2.5. Where do we get the 2.5? Remember, we're going to do that 60-40 split. 50% would be that 2 multiplied by 2, and then that 0.5 is going to give us that 60-40 split. We're going to take $4,000, we're going to multiply it by 2.5, and that's going to give us $10,000 retail. Then she needs to sell $10,000 retail by March. Now we need to think about per face average. How much are you selling per face? Let's say you've been in front of 11 people and you sold 1,100. Your per face average is $100 a face. Yes, you might have sold $75 to your friend, but then the other friend bought $300, but when you average them together, it is about $100 a face. And if you don't know your average, just go ahead and take $100 as your average. Now we're going to take 10,000. We're going to divide it by 100. That means that she needs to see 100 faces from now till March. Again, totally doable. That is 13 weeks. How many faces does she need to see in 13 weeks? That's 8 faces per week. 8 faces that you can do a pampering session with each week will get you to 100 faces in the next 13 weeks, and she will have sold $10,000 retail and pocketed $4,000 towards her wedding. And that is where you make it mathematical, not magical. Do another example. Let's say that you want to have $1,200 profit. And we're going to multiply it by 2.5, because 2.5 is, we're going to double it because we're going to make that 50%, but then we're going to take that 10% buffer. That's going to be our 60-40 split. That's how we got that number. Now, when we do 1,200 times 2.5%, our total is $3,000. $3,000 is going to be our sales. That's going to be our retail. She's going to pocket profit $1,200. That is going to bring in $3,000 in sales. How many months do you want to earn it? Let's say that you want to earn it in 4 months. Let's take an average of $100 per face. Or if you're brand new and you're like, gosh, I don't know if I could sell $100 per face, you can take a $65 average. So in this case, let's say that we're going to do $65 average per face. So we're going to divide it by 4 because we want to earn it in 4 weeks, or do you want to earn it in 4 months? You decide. But that's going to help you decide how many faces you need to see. Then let's do a $65 average. You break down the numbers, that is just seeing 46 faces. And then you're like, how many is that per week? 46 faces per week, that would just be seeing 12.5. That's just 13 faces per week. If I saw 13 faces a week, I can $1,200 profit quickly. Let's do another example. Let's say that your goal is $500 profit. Times 2.5, and that is going to equal 1,250 retail. That's how much we need to sell in order to pocket 40%, take that 10% to pay for an event, and restock your shelf with that 50%. Now I'm going to take 1,250, I'm going to go on the low end, and I'm going to divide it by $65 because we're going to say that is going to be a new consultant's per face average. Again, I like 100, but let's try different numbers here. The total of that is going to be 19. That is seeing 19 people per month. If you saw 19 people in a month, your profit is going to be $500 and your retail sales is $1,250. Now, you can decide, do I want to put in 19 hours of seeing 19 people individual, or do I want to put people together? If you put people together, you could maybe have 5 people at each party. That'd be 3.5 parties, right? 5 at each party would be 3.5 parties in a month. That seems totally doable. If I want to see 8 faces per week, I need to actually book 16 people, because no matter what you're doing, if you're holding a baby shower, if you are having a pampering session, if you're doing a glam event, if you're holding the world's best event there ever was, you're going to have a 50% hold rate. So just think of the last thing you did. You invited people to a birthday party and you had 6 people confirmed and you had 3 show up. If I want to have 8, if I want to be in front of 8 faces this week, I need to actually book 16 of them to get in front of them. If you had 3 parties booked and I had only 1 hold, that's great. That's a 50% hold rate. Then next, if you're ready for the next part of it, how many reach outs do you need to do? When you are working with new people that you don't know, they're like maybe brides or people from an event, you usually have 1 in 5 that usually book with you. Now, if you're booking with friends and family, usually 1 in 2 will book and hold. You might, in this example, you might need to reach out. Let's say you're reaching out to your friends and family. You might need to reach out to 32 reach outs in order to get 16 bookings and in order to have 8 per week. You're reaching out to your friends and family and everyone you can think of that you can get in front of. What questions do you have about these examples? Second question is, what is your why? Are you wanting to pay for your wedding? Are you wanting to replace the carpet and the hardware in your house? Are you wanting to go take your daughter to a spa? Are you wanting a new car? Are you wanting to fund your daughter's senior year? Are you wanting to go to Costa Rica this summer? Are you wanting to be a stay-at-home mom? Are you wanting to quit your job? What is your why? I want you, after watching this video, I want you to tell me, what is your why? Next, I want you to tell me, how much does that why, that dream cost? Does it cost $4,000 to pay for your wedding? Does it cost $500 to take your family on a trip? Does it cost $300 for a spa night? You decide. Tell me what the total is. Then you're going to take that total. You're going to multiply it by 2.5 and you're going to tell me what the retail is. How much retail do you need to sell? What is your face average? Are you going to use the $100 a face average, or are you going to use the $65 or anything in between? How long do you want to pay for that? How long do you want to work this to pay for that dream? How many faces do you want to see? And how many bookings are you going to do? I want to know your numbers because I am here to cheer you on. That when you sit down at your desk and you have 15 minutes to work on Mary Kay, you know exactly what you're going to do. The people come to you. When your why is big enough, your what happens. Instead of me saying, who do you know? Do you know your mom? Do you know your sister? Do you know your aunt? We're having bigger discussions because your why is so big. You're so excited about paying for that dream wedding that you are ready to talk to everyone. You've already talked to your mom and all of her friends. You've already talked to your aunt and all of her friends. You've already talked to your grandma and all of her friends. Now you're talking to people that you go to school with. Now you're talking to people you work with. Now you just talked to that lady at the restaurant. Now you talk to that lady over there. Now you already have your what are you going to do, because your why is so powerful. I'm passionate about this, but this is really what is going to help put money in your pocket for anything. What is it they're going to use your money for? Really think about that. Let me know how I can help you fund your dream, and I'm excited to hear your why. Talk to you soon.